Hey everyone, welcome back to my underwear channel. Sorry it's been so long. Right now it's summer break. There is a lot going on, and part of it is I don't get a lot of alone time to break away and make these videos, mainly because I've got kids who stay up later, and therefore there's limited time between when they actually get down for bed and when I actually get down for bed. So just haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of these videos, so I apologize for that. But wanted to throw this one in there because it is National Underwear Day, and I wanted to just celebrate that. And I also wanted to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is thongs. So I will get to that in just a little bit. First, I wanted to mention something that I was going to mention maybe a month or so ago when I was trying to make a video and it kind of all fell apart, and I decided to hold off and wait till now to make one. And that is just bringing up how about a month and a half ago, I was on a underwear podcast, and it was a lot of fun. So I may have mentioned it before. Underwear News Briefs is a website you can go to where the founder, Tim, does a underwear podcast. It's a lot of fun. He's had tons of different brands and guests. It started off, I would say, more interviewing different underwear brands, talking about what they have to offer so that everyone can kind of learn what's out there, and mixed in with some like regular people that would be on the podcast that would dive into different topics regarding men's underwear. And then I feel like within the last few years, it's branched more into interviewing different people and how they got started into really liking underwear, and specifically just having more of a passion for underwear and what they specifically enjoy, different brands, different styles, so on and so forth. So it's been fun to just hear different people's stories. I find that it's similar to my story. I had a interview that I did about a year ago with them, and then was able to get back on. The main thing that I talked about was how I wrote a article with my wife on my blog, which you can check out. I'll put in the links below. Mainly it's at underwearreview1.home.blog, and it's something that I never thought I could actually do, would be to write an article with my wife about underwear. We mainly broke down the stigma of thongs and kind of how crazy it is, and also kind of broke down the story about her reaction and thoughts when I told her just kind of what I've been kind of doing in secret, which is having underwear social media accounts, so on and so forth. So you kind of get to hear her perspective. So it's been a lot of fun to just kind of break that apart and kind of have more of a shared underwear journey with her, and having her included on it and not keeping any secrets. So it's been really a transforming year, I would say. So definitely check out the podcast on that, so we kind of dive into that a little bit, and then of course check out the blog so you can read the article about it. It's really a fun read, I think. So with that being said, thongs. So thongs has quite the stigma for men to wear. It's just something that overall I think the general public just feels like thongs are only supposed to be for women. And like I mentioned on one of the previous videos, I just find that's too bad, because I've discovered that they've been really comfortable, really supportive, feels fun and sexy and risky at times. And then, added bonuses, there's less underwear lines and different things like that. I feel like there's a lot of guys out there, especially when they're wearing like shorts and stuff like that. You can just see like their boxer brief lines and everything, and it's so ugly, and I don't know, I just don't find it very attractive, if you will. So I think having more of a seamless look it just looks better, in my opinion. And maybe because I'm more attuned to underwear and more aware of it, maybe I just I notice that stuff maybe a little bit more than other people. I don't know. So regardless, hopefully this video will shed some light on some of the benefits for guys wearing thongs. If you can, hopefully you can have an open mind to it, and definitely give it a try and check it out and see if it's something for you. If it's not, after a few tries, and I'll get into that in a second here, then that's okay. And try different styles, whatever, ultimately whatever you feel best in, whatever you feel most comfortable in, you do you. That's the main thing, I would say. And that's why I have all different styles of underwear. I don't just wear thongs. I have briefs and boxer briefs and everything else, and I like to mix it up. So I definitely can't knock that. But I definitely want to bring more awareness to just the fact that thongs should be a realistic option that more guys should try and at least check out, because again, there's a lot of good benefits to it that I think guys would really enjoy if they would actually give it a chance. So let me go into that. I always say that there's three main things that a person should be aware of if they're gonna try thongs and are gonna try to like them. And I always say the three things that kind of make a thong experience successful. One thing is having the right size. So it feels, it seems kind of obvious, but if you really think about it, having a thong that's too small is not going to work out too well, because it's going to cut you in half. It's going to dig right in between your cheeks and really hurt. And it's definitely not a fun experience. And if you are a person who has tried thongs, but you've only tried them once, and it just so happened to be a pair that was too small, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. Well, yeah, no duh. That's because everything's like really tight, and it's more than it should be. A sized right thong should, like gently fit between your cheeks and just fit just with the right amount of pressure, not too much, not too little, and it becomes a lot more comfortable if you have the right size. So again, it's kind of obvious, but again, if you're trying it and you only try it once and you got the wrong size, then obviously it's going to be the wrong experience. So maybe size up if it does really feel too tight, to make sure that you give it a fair chance, if you will. The second thing would be style. So I'm going to break down a few different styles of thongs. I kind of did when I did my underwear overview of all the different styles in underwear in general, but I'm going to try to break it down a little bit more and show some of the details of it. But style is definitely something you should consider and think about, because I think there's certain people that like a traditional thong, like this guy right here, and then there's other people that like G-strings, which is something more like that. And then there's styles in between and all different kinds between those two main, I would say that those two main styles right there. And so some people really like the minimalist G-string kind of style. They feel like it kind of disappears and you don't think about it, and you kind of forget it, and therefore it's comfortable and feels sexy and all that stuff. I definitely get that wearing something like those. And then there's other people that prefer a thong that has a little bit more material. I like this main one in front, and everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own preference. So therefore, I feel like if you try your first thong or two and you don't like it after a few tries, then try out a different style. Maybe G-strings aren't your thing and it's actually, a different cut that feels a lot better for you, then go for that. But I would say definitely give both a fair chance. Lastly, out of the 3 points is having the right mindset. So if you go into trying thongs and your mindset is, oh my gosh, wedgie, this is going to be so uncomfortable, I don't see how I'm going to like this is going to probably be horrible, but I'll try it anyways type of thing, you could like it, but I feel like the odds are against you just because of your mindset alone. I think people who end up converting to thongs more often have a open mindset of, let's give this thing a try for a few times. I really want to try to like it. I personally felt like one of the reasons that I really started to like thongs is because I just think thongs look sexy. I think thongs in general is a really hot style. I love how it, shows off your ass, and it pronounces your bulge in the front, and even for women, I think it looks really sexy on women. So overall, that's just kind of one of my favorite styles out there. So like I really wanted to like it, and I would say that's definitely something you want to try to think about and just kind of have the right mindset going into it. And I think that will give you better odds. So with that being said, I would say give it a few tries. So when I first started wearing thongs, the first few times was a bit uncomfortable, just because it's something new. It's something your body isn't used to wearing that style, and therefore it's something that if you do have the right size and style and everything that you think you might like, giving it a few tries will sometimes help the situation where eventually your body gets used to it and kind of adapts to it, and then all of a sudden, like, a few tries in, it tends to disappear, especially for me. Like when I'll wear them at work, and I work in an office, and when I'm busy at work and thinking about work things, and I do have a thong that's the right size and everything else, it does tend to disappear where you don't even think about it anymore, and it overall therefore is a comfortable thong. So yeah, don't just try it once and then throw it away and be done with it. You got to give it a few shots and see what happens. So all right, let's dive into styles. So I've got a Andrew Christian thong here. This is the almost naked pouch, if you will, which is one of their styles of pouches that they feel provides amazing support. It has enough room. It kind of pushes things a little bit forward. It's a little bit more of an enhanced pouch, but overall they feel like it almost feels like you're not wearing anything, because it's made to fit a guy's package pretty well. So this one is one of my favorite thongs. I personally, when I first started wearing thongs, I had more of this style, and kind of going into it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be the ones that I really like the most because of all the fabric. And I thought, specifically, you look at the back of it and you think this wide fabric, you're like, oh my gosh, how is this going to be comfortable? Because there's that much more fabric that's going to be bunched between your cheeks, and it's going to feel more like a wedgie. And again, once you get used to it and try it after a while, and then I started trying different styles, I actually prefer this style as probably my favorite kind of go-to thong style, because I feel like having a wider material here actually doesn't have as much of a concentrated pressure on a little string. Sometimes a little string can kind of like cut you, if you will, or like just have a little bit more of a sharp feeling to it. And so with the wide back, I feel like it actually kind of widens the pressure on this part of your butt, and actually, to me, makes it feel more comfortable. Also, I really like the cheeky kind of style to it. I feel like having wider material up top here actually makes it feel more comfortable. Something about having just like a string in this spot sometimes will irritate and feel a little bit less comfortable. That's just me. This is my personal opinion. It is kind of weird because I will wear this G-string quite often, and those I actually really like too. So I can't fully. I'm not knocking G-strings. I'm just saying, depending on the pair, and who knows, maybe there's just certain ones that I have that maybe are the wrong size or something. So maybe I've just had some bad experiences with some other pairs, but I feel like this feels more comfortable. So this is, again, just my personal take. And I think the cheeky kind of style looks sexy. I also like with this, just to be completely honest, if I am in more of a business setting and I do end up bending over, and if there is some possible underwear exposure, if I don't want to put myself in an embarrassing situation, again, specifically in a professional setting, this kind of gives me a chance where then the thong isn't exposed, it's just my underwear is exposed, and people would think it's just a brief or boxer brief or who knows what, because I still have some material below the actual waistband. That being said, if I feel like if I do, I guess because I do have such a huge amount of confidence in thongs, and I really believe in them, and I think they're a great option for guys. If I were to be exposed and know about it, I feel like I could be okay with that and be able to kind of defend myself, and hopefully actually, tell others about, the benefits and perks of them. And so, yes, I'd be embarrassed just because there is a huge stigma out there in the world, and it is, considered embarrassing for guys to wear thongs. But at the same time, I feel like I would be proud about it, and really stand up for it if that was the case in that situation. For me, I haven't really had to go through that, but that's kind of my thoughts on that really quick. So that being said, that's one pair. The next one I wanted to bring up is a cheap undies thong. This one I probably have promoted the most. When a guy comes up to me on social media, I don't know how they would come up to me, but they would DM me or something like that, is what I meant to say. I typically recommend this pair. So this is a modal material, and this is probably one of the most softest new technology of fabrics for guys, and it's a very flexible material, super soft to the touch, breathable. feels amazing. Typically, this material I feel like is more of a higher end material that you pay typically bigger money for from high end brands. But with cheap undies, they somehow provide, well, they just honor their name essentially. They provide great underwear for a reasonable price, in my opinion. I think off the top of my head, I want to say these things are $9.99 a piece, which, you know, if you're looking at high-end underwear, typically they're 20, 25. Some are getting up to 30, 35, 40, but, you know, mainly in the $20, $25 range, I would say. So to have this at $9.99 is absolutely insane, in my opinion. So I feel like they do a great job. This one reminds me of a Cock Socks thong. So Cock Socks has an enhanced pouch, and that's what I kind of feel with this one. It definitely pushes things up and forward, and kind of, to me, I think that feels sexy, looks sexy, all that good stuff. Has one of the softest materials, has the style on the back that I like, which is that wider style. So to me, it's like, you know, if you want to try thongs and you don't want to break the bank because you're not sure if you're going to like it, this is a great inexpensive thong that I feel like is really comfortable. So overall, a quick plug for Cheap Undies. They are a huge reason for a bunch of my collection, just because they do offer great prices. From what I can tell, they try to get like leftovers from higher end brands, maybe some brands that are clearancing out styles that they just need to get rid of, and so they end up buying the rest of their inventory and selling it for a more reasonable price, kind of like a TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Ross, those stores of the world where they essentially can provide high-end underwear or high-end high-end underwear too, but high-end clothes for a more reasonable price. So that's kind of what it is, except in a website form. So definitely check out Cheap Undies. One last thing I really like about them is they have an account that you can make, and you can get points, and it's more points than just purchases. You actually can log in daily and get points for that, as well as recommending to your friends and all that fun stuff as well. So after a while, I end up racking up some points, and that way I can buy some more underwear from them at an even better price. So, all right, let's move on. So this is, just wanted to spend like 2 seconds on this style. This is like an in-between style between a G-string and a traditional standard thong. It's got just the waistband rather than material around the side, and then it's got more just like a triangle in the back, nice pouch in the front. So this is a nice good in-between. One thing, if I did have to knock this kind of style, sometimes this material on the sides of your waistband sometimes folds up, or kind of crumbles up like that or something, and that sometimes does get annoying. I will admit, as far as, it's probably more of a looks thing. Once you have a pair of jeans on or something over it, you don't really notice it if it does that. But if just looking at it, sometimes I find myself like trying to fold this back down to have it look the right way. So with this style, you just got the waistband, so you don't have to worry about that. So this is definitely a good option you guys should check out. And then lastly is more of the G-string. So G-string, you can get ones that are just a T-string, which doesn't have this triangle in the back. It just has a string meeting a string. This is more of your traditional G-string style. These are great, and actually this is a pair from Amazon called iKingSky. They are a great affordable G-string, really soft material, kind of a silky kind of material to it. And this is more of that minimalist style. So, especially if you are going to be wearing some like pants or something that is a little bit tighter, having maybe a traditional thong might not be the best thing, because you might see that underwear line in the back. So this is going to prevent a lot of that. I would say if you're doing running compression shorts for jogging or something like that, and you wear something tighter, a G-string is, I would say, the best way to go, because you're going to have minimal underwear lines, and then it's going to offer more support. And just in general, I feel like thongs offer a great amount of support compared to other underwear out there. So I feel like boxer briefs, it's just like this little small like pouch that comes out just a little bit, but it just kind of smooths down. With a thong, it like wraps around your package, and then there's a string, elastic kind of string in the back that keeps it a little bit tighter to keep your package in place, so that there's a lot of support. I feel like thongs and jock straps probably have the best support out there as far as guys' underwear, and I definitely think it's something to check out. So let's see here. Do I have anything else on these? I would say that's pretty much about it. I would say a King Sky is definitely a good first go at G-strings, because again, they're very affordable and they do a good job. So other than that, there is, of course, all different styles and different ways you can get thongs. You can get ones with normal waistbands. You can get something like this cocksocks thong that doesn't have a waistband, it just has the elastic on top. Some guys are like a purist where they love this style and nothing else, and some guys are just like the waistband and only go that route. So definitely check out both and have fun with it. And then you got different things like this one, where this is like a thong in the front, but then it's got the string in the back. So it's kind of a mix between the two. So there's all different things you can get and go try. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me or shoot a comment below. Overall, I think that is pretty much about it. So I hope you guys celebrate National Underwear Day by trying out a thong. And again, feel free to bounce any ideas or concerns or thoughts about it. And I would say some of these points even go to women trying out thongs for the first time. If you're someone who just hasn't done that yet, I would say use those same kind of 3 points. Make sure you have the right size, make sure you have the right style, and have the right mindset about really like wanting to give it a good go, and not just giving up on it after the first 2 seconds of trying it. So all right, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.